Hello. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to my second Sunday special or Saturday special, Saturday solo. Wow. I guess this is the third one. I forget if we're numbering them. I think we're numbering them straight through. So like I'm 1, then Amelia's 2, then I'm 3. I don't think we're numbering individually. I should know that. I'm the one who did it. But welcome to the third Saturday special solo. I'm a mess today. I'm filming in my mom's car because I noticed in the last episode there was like a feedback problem, and I tried to get rid of it in post, so you probably didn't even notice it that much, but it was really bad, and I think it was because my car was on and like the AC was on, and the recorder that like records audio is just sitting right on the center console, and I think it was picking up feedback. But yeah, so I decided I probably can't film with the car on, but it's way too hot to film without the car on. So I'm filming in my mom's car because my mom's car's inside, but it's still really hot in here, to be honest. So I probably could have just filmed in my car, but my car's in direct sunlight, so probably not. But I'm in my mom's car. Thanks, Mom. She listens to every episode, so she'll see this. So thanks for letting me use your car. Yeah. Before we get started, one update that I wanted to throw out there was that Monday's episode is going to be a few hours late. Normally they're up between like 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. This one won't be up until later, maybe 2, because it's a guest episode and we're not able to film until Monday morning. Normally we film Sunday. So yeah, we're filming Monday morning, so it's not going to be up until later that day. But so far, I'm proud of us. We have managed to stick to schedule every time. Yeah. Also, I forgot to get Amelia's camera from Amelia. So she has the camera we use for like every episode. So I'm using my camera, and it's fine. I'm like a photographer and videographer, so I have the stuff, but it's a little bit overkill. Like there's a big camera sitting right there on our like little flexi tripod. So we'll see how it holds up. But yeah, we have like the camera she uses is just nice for this purpose because it's really like mobile and we can take it anywhere. But yeah, I'm trying to be a little bit more planned out with this because my mom actually told me that it was like I was seeing squirrels in the last one. And I did tell her that's kind of the point, and that these are supposed to be less planned out and a little bit more, go with the flow. But I can see how that could be annoying for somebody who isn't me. But yeah, so first thing I do want to talk about. This morning I posted a TikTok, and we've talked about this a few times. I don't normally post TikToks, but when I do, I don't know. But I don't normally post TikToks. And I used to post political TikToks. When I was in like story time, it was freshman year because it was COVID. So it was 2020. I started a TikTok account, and I was mostly posting I was only posting political content. So this is just to give you like an era. This is George Floyd was just murdered. Derek Chauvin was probably on trial. So Black Lives Matter protests. Biden was running for election. Okay, so that's what was going on. 2020. Yes, so Biden would be running for election. And I started this TikTok account, and I started making political TikToks, and everybody probably remembers this time. It was really cringy. I was really into it, so I was like pretty educated. So I spent so much time researching that I wasn't some like radical lunatic, or like I was still cringe, but not because I was like, do you know that guy on TikTok that's like, he's like the one who's been like indoctrinated by his dad, and they've got this like company for like, or like small little account for like far right kids, and he's like, I'm a conservative kid.
I'm a conservative kid. Of course I use the bathroom based on how I was born.
That guy. Okay, I wasn't like that, I promise. And I'm also not like that one guy. I don't know if anyone else has seen him. I'm gonna find this because I caught this guy. This guy on Instagram Reels. I don't know. He's okay. Now I know how he's like. He has a position in this account. It's this like organization. Yeah, Young Pro-Life Dems. Okay. and this isn't a political show, but this is just what I'm on about. So he is the something for this account, okay? Young pro-life Dems. I found him. Here he may own it. He might be, his name is Disciple Jameson. He's the president of Young Pro-Life Dems. All right, is this guy. We'll see if you can see. I maybe can edit that and let you see it better. He's very pro-life, but most of his content revolves around like just glazing conservatives, okay? Even though he says he's pro-life, or I mean, even though he says he's a Dem, he's definitely not. Because not only is he pro-life, he's like very anti-pride. Yeah, he's somewhat nuts. Anyway, he runs this account, Young Pro-Life Dems. And the stuff they post doesn't even make sense, okay? Pro-life is progressive. You're not even able to see all this. I'm going to have to just read them all. Pro-life is progressive. Abortion is regressive. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Democrats stand up for the weak. This includes preborn people. Preborn justice now. Equality starts in the womb. Abortion is oppression. IVF is modern eugenics. So there's that. Oh, and now he's on to like assisted suicide isn't compassion. Oh, there's no Planet B, climate justice now. I don't even know. We need humane borders, not deportation orders. Okay, there's something. Make birth free for all. Reproductive care should be accessible. Good. Universal health care for all. So very, very all over the place. Because they claim that they're just like pro-life Dems. And like that would just make you have Democratic or like liberal positions except for when it comes to choice and reproductive health care. But they don't even have that. They're like all over the place. Anyway, he's really cringe. Look him up. I wasn't like that. Okay, I kind of was, but I did have the education level to back it up. So I made this TikTok account and I was posting all the time, mostly like, I don't know. I don't even remember what I was posting. I can't even find the account. I think I deleted it, which would have been a good thing. But yeah, a bunch of stuff. It was mostly social justice stuff. So since then I've had podcasts, online publications, a bunch of stuff, but I haven't actually posted TikToks about politics, except for like not like me talking about politics. I posted TikToks, like I posted a video of the fireworks on the 4th of July, and it just said this and articles of impeachment. I posted this one that went really viral. It got 600,000 views, 200,000 likes, like 1,000 comments. It was just the Holy Slam Dunk thing. It was just me and my girlfriend at Tim Walls. And yeah, whatever. It was cute. Okay. So I haven't really been posting much, but today I saw a video of this woman, and I've seen videos like this a lot where people try to like defend Trump's felony convictions, right? So they like take his criminal case where he was found guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records by a jury, and they throw in all this information that's supposed to like wake you up to the fact that like it was, not fair, like an unfair trial. And the evidence that she gave was, the things you hear all the time, the statute of limitations. Also, anytime you hear somebody say statute of limitations, and like arguing it for like a pro-Trump thing, 9 times out of 10 they say statue. That's just something I've noticed. I love the poorly educated. I'm cutting that out. Yeah, so I mean, the statute of limitations thing, which has been debunked, the changing it to a felony thing just for fun, which has been debunked, a bunch of stuff. And I was like really fed up. I'm like, this is ridiculous. People see this stuff. So I decided I'm going to whip out the microphone and whip out the camera, and I'm just going to quickly debunk it. I knew most of the information already. I had to look up some people's names and I had to look up the penal code, because when we're talking about legal cases, it's really important to not say falsifying business records or say fraud, right? Law is so specific that when you're talking about criminal cases, it's really important to refer to the state and the exact name of the charge. And if you can, talk about a penal code number. That just makes sure we all know we're on the same side. So instead of saying falsifying business records, which can be different in every state, can go by different names, can have different sentencing, different statute of limitations, saying, I think it was New York Penal Code, I don't even remember. Was it like 1750.10 or something? I don't know, but saying that is really important so that we know like everybody's on the same page, okay? So 175.10. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to make this video, and I pull out the camera and the microphone, and I just go through her video, and I cut it into, I think, 6 or 7. I cut it into like a few of her claims, and I just go one by one and just explain the claim. And I'm not being condescending towards this person. I'm just saying she's making claims that I'd never even heard someone make. I heard her make a claim that, what was the claim? Oh, that nobody else in New York has ever been indicted for what Donald Trump was convicted of, which is New York Penal Code 175.10, falsifying business records. And I was like, that can't be true. And I was like, maybe it's a new statute or it's going by a different name or a new penal code number. And she got confused. So I look it up. No, I mean, this is a commonly used statute. Almost 10,000 people, I saw an article from the New York Law Review, almost 10,000 people in New York State had been indicted on that exact statute before 2015. So crazy. But yeah, I just heard her make claims I'd never heard someone make before and say them so confidently. And as if she was like correcting common misconceptions and then I saw people, liked by people I knew who I knew supported Trump. And I'm like, this is dangerous. It's just people knowing this information or thinking this isn't really going to like impact American politics, like at that level. But I'm like, if I can make a video and just quickly correct some of these things, why it's so important to fact check right-wingers is not only because you need people to know that, no, this wasn't an unfair trial. No, the statute of limitations hadn't passed. No, more people than Donald Trump had been indicted on that charge, right? It's not about them just knowing those facts. It's about breaking down the trust as much as we can that people on the right have for their media institutions. When Tucker Carlson would go on and lie, and people would debunk him over and over and over, that wasn't just so people would see the video and go, oh, Tucker was wrong about that. It's actually this. It's so that they would go, in the future, maybe I shouldn't trust everything Tucker says. And, the point of me making that video, and maybe more in the future if I see more egregious things, is not like just to correct people's misconceptions about Trump's case. It's that maybe you need to do more research than seeing a TikTok video that makes all these crazy claims, and you're like, I can't believe I've never heard that before. And you're like, why have I never heard that Trump is the only person who's ever been indicted on that charge? Well, because the video creator made it up, and it's not true. So, yeah, that's what I did this morning. Yeah. So hopefully that is going to make a good impact. That's all I got for that. But yeah, let's get off politics for a second. There's a bunch of stuff that like is new that I feel like would probably be better suited for an episode with me or Amelia, or for her to present. But we're at a stage in our life right now where we're trying to figure out what our next few years look like. And we've always been advanced planners, but what's going on right now is we actually need to be planning these things, right? We're at a point where we need to be scheduling our life, scheduling where we want to be, when we want to do things, because that determines when we need to graduate college, when we need to apply to grad schools, law school in my what is the word? Case, in my case. So we need to like figure things out, and people are like, we'll slow down, but like you kind of can't. You really cannot. I am currently studying for the LSAT, as I talked about in my last Sunday solo, because I need to take the test at a certain time, because I need to get my score at a certain time so I can apply to law school at a certain time, so I can get admitted at a certain time, and then move away for law school, far from home, somewhere I've never been before. My girlfriend needs to, Amelia, why did I call her that? You know her. She needs to figure out when she's graduating so she can take the GED, so she can get into grad school, so we can coordinate where those grad schools are because we're not doing long distance. So yeah, we kind of do need to figure things out, and it is somewhat stressful. Like, we don't really need to figure things out past like the next 2 years, because once we do that, I'm in law school, I'm in my place, she's in grad school, she's in her place, or we're working, whatever. But like, there's a lot of things that need to happen between now and then for us to figure things out. But I mean, there is a point to too much planning. Once we figure out what we're doing, then we just have to execute, so once we figure out the plans, then we just got to get the grades to graduate, get the scores on our tests to get into the grad schools we want, save enough money to, get to where we need to be, etc. So that's kind of what we're figuring out. I'm sure we're going to do an episode here soon about like planning for the future with different timelines. And Amelia and I did have different timelines. We were going to graduate at different times. And the change that I was going to say we'll probably talk about together, or she can present, is that she's figured out how she can graduate when I do. And that's going to allow us to, move at the same time, get into grad schools at the same time, because we want to go to grad school, different grad schools, close enough, or the same, close enough that we can commute between the two, from one place. And it was tough because I was going to graduate a year early. So because of that, I would be making my law school decision, and then she would feel constrained. And that's not fair, right? But if she graduates when I do, we can both apply broadly. And then once we get acceptances, then make a decision together. And that's just a much better way to do it. We're both much more thrilled about that idea. So, that's all good. But yeah, this week, let's talk. I've mentioned probably a few times that I was working as a summer intern at Shoemaker, Loop & Kendrick, law firm in Toledo. Today is Saturday. Thursday was my last day at that job. Yeah, it was a good summer. I mean, the summer's kind of coming to a close. We got like a month here left, and we got a lot going on that you'll learn about in the next month. Like, we just have a busy month. But yeah, it kind of feels like it's the end of summer because I'm thinking about going back to school. We paid the bills and all that to go back to school. Friday, I had a meeting regarding my new job that I'm starting at my school. So, it kind of feels like we're going back to school, but it was a good summer. I'm just going to talk about like my first time working 9 to 5 and like what that was like. So I had not worked many traditional jobs. My jobs in the past, just to kind of run you through it, I started my first ever position making money was, I'm going to pull up my LinkedIn so I don't forget anything. And I spend so much time on my LinkedIn, and I'm very proud of it. Okay. Here we are. All right. So my first job where I made money, and really my first, I don't think I worked any unpaid jobs. All right. First job where I made money based on start time. Okay. Soccer referee. I was right. So, U.S. Soccer Federation certified referee. I did that. I'm technically in my 6th year. I haven't done a game in probably a year. But I'm still certified. I redo my certification every year. So yeah, 6 years ago, I would have been, if I'm about to be 20, I would have been 14. So I was doing that for a long time. I was really serious about that. I loved it. I did a lot. I was doing very high level for being a very young age. At 15, 16, I was doing centers on 17, 18 games, which you're not even allowed to do, I don't think. It's protocol. It's against recommendations, but you can. The license allows for it. So I was doing very high games. I did an adult league assistant referee game like at 15. I was really into it, and I was very good at it. To give myself credit, like I had very high reviews and analysis from other referees in the area. The general manager of the building I live in at my school is actually a referee, and he was like the president of the referee association at the time. So I formed a good friendship with him. And I was really into it. I was at a point where I was like, I actually might want to pursue this as a career. And it's very tough, but it can be a career. Like MLS referees, okay, which is the largest domestic league in the U.S., they are not encouraged to have other jobs. So it could be done. It just takes a lot of commitment. And eventually I decided, more realistically, that's not probably a good job. But that was really good. I made a lot of money. It just wasn't consistent. And the hardest part of being a referee for me, as somebody who I think was pretty naturally good at it, I've always been a rules guy. So I knew the rules in depth. Game management was my thing. So the hardest part for me, because the officiating wasn't tough, was the management, the schedule, the communication. Like, that was really tough. It's actually like a part-time job just to get the games. So yeah, there was that. After that, I worked as a marketing intern for a car dealership for 3 months for a summer, and that was fun. Not full-time, 20 hours a week. And then, because at the same time, I was doing, I think, 10 hours a week at a hospital as a volunteer, because I was thinking I'm going to be pre-med. So that was, important to get my foot in the door in high school. And then I'm still in high school now. Then I worked at Target, like the store. I was just stocking. I got the job as a seasonal job around Christmas. And that's when I was putting in like the 40-hour weeks, 50-hour weeks. But it wasn't like 9 to 5, 40-hour weeks. This is like 2 to 10. And 2 to 10 sucks. Bad. Very bad. It's awful. Your whole day is shot. I was an early riser. I'd be up by 7 at the latest. But still, if I get up at 7, that's, it's 7 hours till I'm going to work, but there's nothing to do. I get up, I shower, I eat, and you just kind of sit around waiting. Anyone who's worked night shifts know you just sit around waiting to go to work. You feel like you can't do anything. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't go have fun with friends. I didn't do anything. I just sat and waited for work. And that's kind of what that is. And that sucked. And I left. I didn't do 40-hour weeks for long or 50-hour weeks for long. I really got into 15 later. But during the seasonal period, Christmas, when I was off school, I was doing big hours. So that was the longest, like weekly hours I had worked. So then I worked for my school as a creative intern for the athletic department and an admissions ambassador. So like giving tours. So that's my work experience. So this summer, starting this new position as a summer intern at a law firm, it was 40 hours. Well, so I'm in work at the office for 42 and a half hours a week, 37 and a half paid because 5 hours were lunch. So 1 hour lunches every day. So 8:30 to 5. And, I was nervous. I'm like, you hear a lot of bad things about 9 to 5. I'd never done it before. And I was just jumping into it. And I felt like I was going to feel like my summer was a waste or whatever. But I was less worried about feeling like my summer was a waste because I love school. I love college. It's awesome. I was actually kind of dreading summer, which had never happened before. But like towards the end of the school year, I was dreading exams. So I wanted to like get out of there, but I definitely didn't want to come home. Nothing against home. I love home. I definitely like being at home. I'm a homebody for sure. But I was good there. And so coming home, I'm like, man, I got to go to work now. Like, it was better. So I didn't feel like my summer was going to be wasted. But, I kind of had that thing. And the first couple of weeks, I'm like, this isn't bad. Like, the days don't feel as long. Like, 2 to 10 at Target felt like my whole life. I'm like, when am I going to get out of here? It's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, I am going to die. But yeah, it wasn't so bad. It really wasn't. And so I'm like, maybe this is going to wear off. It's a new job. My job, for like, to explain what I did, I was like the intern. Like, when you think of intern, I'm the intern. Coffee, mail, filing pleadings at court. Like, I was that. And it was not bad at all. I really enjoyed it. I had a vacation in there. So like the first 3 weeks was every day. And then I went on a 1 week vacation with my family. And I'm like, I bet when I go back, it's going to be bad. And it really wasn't at all. The one thing I'll say about 9 to 5 is you do got to learn how to, I'm just checking the time here. We're good. You do got to learn how to like do things, because if you don't, right, like look at me, right? I woke up at 7, shower, ate breakfast, packed a lunch. I'm out of the house by 7:45. I'm into work by 8:15. I work until 5. I leave at 5. I'm home by 5:30. So it's now 5:30. By the time I change and like unwind from work, it's 6. And I go to bed around 10:30. So I've got like 4.5 hours there. And, take an hour for dinner, I'm down to 3.5, an hour to work out, I'm down to, 2.5. So it kind of can feel like you have no time to do anything. But I figured it out, and that's all I'll say. Like, you figure it out. If you've never worked 9 to 5 before, you definitely figure out how to make time work. What I will say is I would love to have a job in the future, and I know I'm going to be 9 to 5 most of my career, but I'd love to at some point in the future get to a point where even though I'm working maybe, more than 40 hours a week probably, I have the ability to, let's just say, I wish my job was more task-based, where there was a set amount of things you had to do during the day, and if I came in at 6 or 7 in the morning, I could get it done and be out by 3, right? I would much rather do that. I'm an early riser. I'd love to get up, get a bunch done, and, be done early. So I would love, if I own my own practice in the future, I'd be able to do that probably, with the exception of like court. But yeah, that was my experience this summer. It wasn't bad. My new job I'm starting at the school, I will be hybrid, sometimes in person, sometimes remote. And it's down to my decision, but it'll be my decision based on whether I need to be in the office, whether I need to be collaborating. If I need to be, I'll go in. If not, I'll go wherever I work best, because the job is a creative role. So it's working in enrollment, doing, I don't have a job title yet, actually, but I would say, kind of like the creative content coordinator for enrollment or whatever. But yeah, it'll be good. We'll see how I can balance it with, I have a busy social life, but also my athletics position, school, need great grades. LSAT studying, I'm doing at least an hour a day at minimum, usually 2.5, 3 hours a day. So 2.5, 3. So I'm cutting that out. I'm going to have to figure out how to make that work. But I'm looking forward to it. And you'll get talked through how that goes on the regular episodes and on these episodes. So, but I am running out of time here. My camera can only shoot 30 minutes in a row, and then I got to redo it. And I just don't want to go through and line them back up and get the audio line back up, because at the beginning I clap and then that doesn't make any sense. It's fine. But yeah, that's all I got. We will see you Monday, later in the day, and then you'll be back with me in 2 weeks. Enjoy Amelia's Saturday solo next week. That's all I got. So yeah, thanks for spending 28 minutes with me, and peace.